Hi everyone, welcome. My name is Ren, aka BL Compilations. My pronouns are she, her, hers. Happy Star Wars Day, May 4th for some of us. May the 4th be with you. I am role-playing as Princess Leia with a few minor changes, including a necklace because I like bling. So welcome to the live. You can ask me personal questions, you can ask me BL questions. Just to let everyone know, the chat is being recorded and I have the replay enabled, so I don't think it goes up right away, but probably about a day later the replay will happen. I thought I would start off with talking about our current favorite airing series. A few hours ago I posted what was living rent-free in your mind, and then I also have some questions from past lives. Hello. Hi. Thank you, Academic Purple. I'm glad you enjoy it. I bought the hair donuts just for this live. In the past, I just used my own hair, and they were small, so I bought them just for everyone here. So yeah, I have some questions from the last live that we can go through too, but I'm also open if people have other questions they want to ask. That's cool too. So the first thing is, what are your favorite currently airing BL series? So we actually don't have a ton right now. I have to say, it seems a little bit of a drought. I'm curious to know what the summer will be like this summer too. I don't think we had a lot last summer either. So I don't know, I guess we'll see if we have a bunch more series that come out this summer, or maybe not too many. I should say too, there's probably a delay between me and the chat and you seeing me, so I'll try my best. I also cannot multitask at all, so I'll try to watch the chat as best I can. Well, I guess I'll start with some of my favorite currently airing series. So one of my top ones is Living with Him. I'm really enjoying it. I would say it's a slice of life, and I will try to be spoiler-free as much as I can. So it's two friends, they were childhood friends, and they end up living together, and I won't say anything else because I don't want to spoil it, but it's just realistic to me, and yeah, I'm really enjoying it. And then the one that just started today, not too long ago, is Wandi Gadai, and that's on YouTube from GMM TV, and started today. I thought the first episode was good. So I personally don't love slapstick comedy. I did laugh though a few times, but I'm not a fan of a ton of sound effects with horses neighing and that kind of thing. So we'll see how it goes, but I did laugh a few times, and I did like that it has a little bit more, it's a little spicier than most of GMM TV's productions. So I'm looking forward to that, and we have 11 more episodes, so we have a ways to go with it. And what else am I really enjoying right now? I'd say the rest of them are fine. Oh no, there is a horse neigh. I think there might have been a horse neigh. There was that swallowing noise. I really don't like the swallowing, gulping. The gulping sound effect it's not my jam. Cori said, might wait to see how it gets on before starting. Yeah, the first episode was good. So, but sometimes it is nice to hold on something, wait until a few episodes have kind of accumulated and then binge a bunch. So I will probably update my review on MDL. I don't know, I usually do it a few episodes in to give kind of a better idea of where we're at with it. But I thought the first one was good. And I like a protagonist who's not a total pushover. So, neither one of them appear to be pushovers. So I enjoy that as well. What else do we have? So there's Boys Be Brave, which I think some people really don't like, and some people like one couple and not the other, and some people like the opposite couple, and Some people like both. So maybe that one's a little bit divisive. I am enjoying it, but I need some questions answered. And we're already halfway through the series. So I'm getting a little getting concerned at this point if we're going to actually have answers to those. Like Gray Shelter. We'll talk about that one actually later. So, but I overall am enjoying Boys Be Brave. And what else do we have going on? My stand-in only has 2 episodes though, so it's kind of difficult at this point. That's a little bit more, I would say a little grittier, angstier type of series. It has some common people from KinnPorsche, not the actors, but I think, is it one of the writers and maybe the director are the same? And so I feel in the aesthetics of it, it reminds me of KinnPorsche. That's my stand-in. But I think we have about 11 maybe series airing right now, somewhere around 11 or 12. And yeah, anyone else have anything anything living rent-free in your mind you want to put in the chat or discuss about? I'm trying to think of which of the scenes. Well, there's the Boys Be Brave scene in episode 3. That was, I won't say what it was, but I was a little surprised. I was not expecting it at that point. And I mean, I kind of knew from the trailer that Wandi Gadai was how that was probably going to start because they showed that in the trailer. So that's not really surprising or anything, but I think it was fairly well done. Academic Purple wrote, the "Oh, you're a top 2" scene in my stand-in was hilarious to you. Yeah. I mean, it must happen. I would assume with apps now, maybe it happens not as much, or I mean, I don't know, but yeah, I thought that was funny and realistic. So I don't know if I think they would have done nothing though, but I mean, that's okay. They seem to have figured it out. So but yeah, I'm trying to think. We really don't even have that much coming up for May, even for new series that are starting. So it definitely seems a little bit of a lull. So I should go back and watch some of my favorites, I think is what that means. And then I wanted to talk about our favorite series that are completed from December until now. So you can put in the chat what your favorite ones are, and I'll say a few of mine. So starting back in December, I have Cherry Magic from Thailand that aired the very end of December. And then Pit Babe, I believe, also aired in December as well. So I enjoyed those. Very, very different series, those two. I mean, Cherry Magic is a solid rom-com. And Pit Babe, there were some humorous parts in it, but I would not label that as a rom-com. It's a little bit more angstier, more action type series. And then other ones that I enjoyed. I mean, I enjoyed a lot of them, but some of my favorites were Ocean's Love Returns. I actually think that was probably my favorite in the whole franchise. So that one was really good. I really enjoyed that one. And Love for Love's Sake from South Korea, I thought was really well done. There were some parts I was a little confused about, but overall, and there was a character that switched. His personality seemed to switch really fast, so I was a bit confused by that, but enjoyed that. There's a series on Netflix that's not a BL series, but there is a couple in there that I really, really liked. And so the series is called Let's Talk About Chu, CHU. That's how it's spelled. And the tricky thing is you have to watch until the end of episode 4. And I don't want to tell you why, but you need to. You might not like before that, but then at the end of episode 4, something happens. And then you might really enjoy it. So I really ended up liking that couple quite a bit. That's probably one of my favorite couples this year, actually. I also enjoyed Deep Night. I thought that one was... Oh, and I should say, too, if you want to find where to watch these officially, there's a website that I do not run, but it's World of BL, and they have official links to the different platforms and things. My tricky thing is some places are dependent upon your country. So I think, I don't know if I put them actually in my reviews. Sometimes I just put country dependent, but yeah, sometimes you have to use a VPN depending on where you're at. So, okay, I enjoyed Deep Night. I really liked the aerial work. I liked that the main character had kind of a dual personality type thing. It actually, that can happen where people kind of are one way in one environment and then in a different environment can act fairly differently. Is there a fan-made edit video of the couple in Let's Talk About Chu? You know what? I don't know. There should be. There should be. I did a couple shorts, or did I do 1 or 2? I feel like I definitely had one that was in a video recently, and I cut it out and put it as a short on YouTube. But oh, and I did another, that's right. I did another short of them. I don't want to say where they were at because that does give a plot point away, but they were somewhere that normally you wouldn't do a certain something, and they did, and it was wild. I didn't even know those positions existed. So someone should do a fan edit, though, of that couple. I really like them. I hope it gets a second season and we get to see more of the couple. So what else have I liked that's finished airing? Gray Shelter, which I was kind of confused by. I found the time jumps not super clear. I did figure it out, but that did not help my confusion. And then there were a couple questions that I feel they kind of gave hints as to what happened in the past, but they didn't actually show or explain. So I don't know. I thought I heard they might have a second season, and I really hope they do because I really like to learn what exactly happened and then see the progression of their relationship. And I was actually totally fine with how they ended their relationship, how they ended the series. It made a lot of sense to me. I wrote it more in my review under a spoiler. So I got it. And then another one, I actually didn't think I would enjoy this one as much as I did, but it's City of Stars. And yeah, I didn't really have high expectations of that, but it was really fun. It's a rom-com. And again, there were maybe too many sound effects for my personal taste. There were some parts that were, I thought, slow or, didn't really need. They could have probably made it shorter. I think that was maybe 12 episodes. They could have definitely had it been shorter. But the main couple I really, really liked, although one of them still needs to work on his communication skills. But they subverted a few tropes, and I was really happy because I really dislike the tropes. So I'm happy they didn't do those. So City of Stars, that was fairly enjoyable. The next one came out, I want to say it was December 31st or January 1st. It was right at the end of 2023 and beginning of 2024. And that's I Became the Main Role in a BL. And That's a comedy, I would say, but it also has some more serious parts or vibe about it. And we also need to see more of that second couple, because in the beginning, I thought there might be something there, and then I thought I'm reading too much into it, but there was something there. So anyway, it'd be cool if it would get another season. I mean, I'd like pretty much anything that I enjoy to have a second season, but we don't really get that many second seasons, unfortunately. So Cori's actually here. So I will say that Cori asked me to make a best and worst 2023 video at my December live, and I made a 2023 BL Awards video in January. So you all can go and watch it. And I mean, the categories some of them are silly because my videos are funny, or I think they're funny. Cori says, yes. I became the lead in a BL was a great series. Yeah, it was short, but I thought it was well done. Short and sweet. They were great. I'm glad you enjoyed the award video. Maybe I'll do one next year, the best of 2024, with kind of my own categories that I make up, you know, best sponge bath and best piggyback ride. Oh my goodness. Those are funny. And I don't think Chaz is here, but maybe people watch this later and then they'll know that I did go back and I took notes, and then I lost my notes from the last live. So then I had to go back and kind of rewatch the live, which I don't know if you've ever watched a recording of yourself. I don't know. To me, it wasn't the most fun thing in the world, but maybe we'll just get used to it. So Chaz asked for me to add MyDramaList reviews to my top 10. So I started writing reviews on pretty much anything that had English subtitles starting the summer of 2021 until now. And there are obviously things that aired before the summer of 2021, and I didn't go back and make reviews for those because they had been out for a while, so there were a lot of reviews already, and I kind of watched a lot of stuff when I learned about BL, and so I kind of forgot, and I would need to go back and rewatch, I think, before doing a review. So I did go back, and I don't know if they were 9s and 9.5s, or if they were just 9.5s, but I went through my list of things that I had watched but had not written a review, and I did, I think, 6 of them. So the ones I did are Game Boys, Long Time No See, Last Twilight in Phuket, Some More, Step For You, and We Best Love. So those aren't all series. Some of those are short movies. But so I did those, and I still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more which adds up to 10, more than 10, I realize. But for those, I just need to, I think, rewatch them and then write the review after I rewatched it, so it's fresh in my mind. So yes, I'm still adding reviews on my drama list, so you can go and read those if you'd like. And as I've mentioned before, everyone has different views and opinions, and if you don't like my reviews or haven't, that's fine. Totally fine. We all have different life experiences, so people see things differently. Another question was from New, asked Kdramas that I would like remade into BLs. So I was making a list, and then I realized that my list was basically my favorite K-dramas. I just was thinking about the ones that I enjoyed and decided I want them all to be BLs. So I will talk about some of mine, but if you all watch K-dramas and want to type in the chat some that you would like to see, that would be cool too. So, The Devil Judge. The Devil Judge was almost a BL. I feel that it was just almost there. It was very close. So they wouldn't even have to really do much of all if they made a second season, if they wanted to make it a BL. And if you're not familiar with that series, how would I explain that series? So it takes place in a fictional, I mean, I think it's the future. I don't know if it's present day or the future, but it's a fictional world. It's not, it doesn't take place in our world. And well, there's a judge per the title, who's, not everyone likes. And then, honestly, it's been a while since I've watched it, so I can't remember the details very well. But I do just remember the main relationship with two of the male characters, and it was really good. A lot of tension there. So that's what I'd like to see. And then another one, it's a little bit older. I don't know what year this one came out, actually, is Splash Love, which is historical. So, I mean, obviously, it would be a little bit less historical for some of these things that you would remake into BL. But I think historical series already take liberties with actual history. And also, we don't even know everything that actually happened. So, I mean, why not? Make Splash Love into a BL, I think. You should go for it. So that would be one. Kiss Goblin is a shorter series that I think would be interesting. Although I didn't love the ending of that one, but I mean, it was okay. The ending was okay. And another one is a movie, actually. I think it's still on Netflix, which is called Love and Leashes. And I won't say it's 100% accurate, not that I'm an expert, but I think it's more accurate than a whole lot of other things. So I enjoyed that one quite a bit, and I would really enjoy to see it as a BL with two guys as the leads. There's one called A Time Called You, which I think might be a remake of a series from Taiwan, or maybe the Taiwan one is a remake. I'm not 100% sure. That involves time travel, and it has some serious parts. Love and Leashes, yes. I know, wouldn't Love and Leashes be really good? I mean, it's probably just because I like the subject material. And we really don't get that much representation of it. And when we do, it infuriates me because there's a lot of coercion involved, or people aren't totally sober. And so anyway, I thought that Love and Leashes did a pretty good job. What else? So I also like sci-fi and fantasy. I may have talked about that before. So some of these are along those lines. Are You Human Too? Which is really good. I think I can say one of the characters is, I don't know, I guess would you say he's a robot? Right? Anyway, but he's looks human. I mean, for all intents and purposes. That's a really interesting series and makes you think a little bit too. And then another one, although this one is called I'm Not a Robot. So the one character thinks the other character is a robot. And as the title says, the character is not a robot. So I thought that would be nicely remade. And then another one that has to do with sci-fi, My Hollow Love. I would enjoy seeing that. And then another more recent one is Weak Hero Class, which again, I think was kind of close. There was a lot of bromance happening in that series. So I think we could do it. It could. I don't know if it has if it's getting a season 2 or not, but oh, What's Wrong with Secretary Kim would be interesting. I watched that one not a long time ago, but I've watched a lot of things since then, and I can't exactly remember what it was. I generally don't like the cold CEO and the nice female lead dynamic, so I think that's maybe what that was. But maybe if it's two guys, it won't bother me quite as much. Vincenzo could be fun. So I actually haven't seen that one. Is that one a little, I thought it was that violent? How violent is it? I don't do super well with things that are violent. What was I watching? Oh, Spire Alm. I had to pause it. It's it's a lot. I'm not a fan of blood, deaths. Rom-coms are my overall jam. I can like more serious things, but I have to be in a certain kind of mind space in order to watch them. So, but I did hear good things about it. Cori's not answering me how violent it is. Is it violent? Well, we'll see. It's kind of violent, but not too bad. They kind of ham up some of the fight scenes. All right, I'll give it a go. Here, wait, let me write it down. And this time I'll try not to lose the paper that I write things on. Vincenzo. What else did I have? Oh, Flower of Evil. I mean, there's some violent stuff in that, but I got through it because the ending wasn't my favorite either, but I thought there were some really, really, really good parts in that. So that's kind of my list. There's probably more K-dramas that I've watched and would really enjoy as a BL, but those are the ones that I could think of. I'm not as good about keeping track of straight things. So does anyone else have KBL or from another country even? We can even open up to other countries. JBL that you want remade? Try to think of. I don't know. Nothing else is really coming to my mind right now. But I do watch K-dramas and rom-coms and romance series from pretty much every country are fair game. And since we don't have a lot of BL airing right now, although I also like to go back and watch some of my favorites too. All right. Amisa asked, what would my dream BL pairing be? Oh, wait. I would like the BL version of the Chinese series General's Lady. I've never heard of that. Cori mostly sticks to BL, not too much. I've never heard of that. General's Lady. Okay. I will say I don't watch as much stuff from China for a couple things. One is I can't handle the baby voice character and the really cold guy, the cold, gruff dude, and then the happy-go-lucky, chipper female lead. It's the first series in Pathway. I'll check it out. I'm hoping the other reason I struggle is they have some really long episode counts. And I just don't have the attention span to see something that has, 38 episodes, 50 episodes. So I have no idea how much that one is. The man is pretty. Oh, yeah, they do. Yeah, I put it on my list. I wrote it on my sheet. I'll watch it. Let's see. Oh, who would your dream BL pairing be? From Amisa. So I was trying to think of my most favorite dream pairing. I think is Tay and Gun. and they're from Thailand. They're Thai actors. They're both with GMM TV. So they both have ships with other people. So I don't think it would probably ever happen. But they appear to be friends in real life. And I don't remember what video it was that I saw, but they were talking about how they play a game where one of them is a pet and the other one is the pet owner. And the owner gets to tell their pet kind of what to do and order them around a bit. And then apparently Tay can never remember, because they're supposed to alternate. They're supposed to switch who's who. And Tay apparently can never remember. And so Gun always says that he's the owner. And Tay's the pet. They just seem to have a really fun friendship. And I think it would be really fun to see them as a pair, but we won't. Wait, what? Should I try and find the video? I have no idea if I could even figure out where I watched that. Somewhere on YouTube. I swear they themselves talked about it. It wasn't someone else referring to this game. It was the two of them that talked about it. And they were also really fun on the Off Gun Fun Night, I think it was called, too. Maybe that's where they actually brought it up, honestly, because I did watch Off Gun Fun Night. So, yeah, they seem that they're really good friends. And it's tricky for me because, you know, I'm not a casting director. I don't know these people in real life, or I don't know chemistry-wise how they work out. So I generally just want people who are comfortable with each other and have a believable chemistry. So I'm not super... I think ships can be nice. It can be fun to see your favorite couple in multiple series, but I'm also fine with actors having paired with different actors, I guess, in series. It doesn't... Hello! Lonely Blossom is here. Hi! True Beauty and Business Proposal. Oh, yeah, I can see that. Definitely. Wasn't True Beauty being remade right now in Thailand by GMM TV? It's not BL, but I haven't watched the adaptation or remake. That's okay. You joined us. You made it. We're a small but mighty group. Cori said, same, like to see them switch up pairings more. Yeah, it's kind of fun when some actors have quite a few different ones. I think hasn't first had quite a few different ones, but now I think he's kind of set. But, you know, it can be fun to see different actors. So, I don't know. Does anyone here have a dream BL pairing of two actors you'd like to see play romantic leads together? I mean, there's also actors I just want to get work because I haven't seen them in a long time. Like Kuhart. Oh, he has a series, I think, actually coming up, though. So that's good. But I think is he in high school again for that series? Get that man in an adult. I mean, out of high school and college. He needs to be a sassy character. I want to see that. I don't want to see any more of kind of shrinking Violet characters. So I'd like him with whoever. So there's some actors I would just like to see more of because I haven't seen them in a long time and I enjoy them. They're acting. The show with Gun, PP Crit, Bilkin, and Tay in a show together. That would be really cool. Nice. Perth to Lay, Dream, want to see again. Yes. Yeah, we haven't seen them in years. I think Perth did a video recently. He talked about My Engineer. And I mean, it doesn't sound as if there is going to be a season 2, but they should act in something else. I agree. Oh, Cori said Boss isn't going to be in Bound's vampire series anymore. Those two. I could see it as well. Yeah. I mean, there's lots of different possibilities. Again, I'm just looking for people that have good chemistry, good, believable chemistry. No dead fish lip presses, please. Let's end that. And Chas, you missed out, but I already mentioned that you wanted me to add my DramaList reviews to my top 10, and I did start. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 done, and I actually have 6 more, which I know adds up to 12. But so I'm working on it. I'm slowly. It's been 5 months, and I got 6 done. So I'm slowly working through ones that I didn't review prior to the summer of 2021. Let's see. What else we have? Your tie is crooked. I don't even know what that is. What is that? A 6-minute thing. Your tie is crooked. I haven't even heard of that. Was that an ad? Your tie, I'm going to write down, is crooked. I don't know what that is. Yeah, Kuhart's new series, Earth, is set in university. I know. I mean, I guess it's better than high school. He's slowly getting there. But, you know, give that man something beyond age 22. A work setting of some kind. I don't know. Can he be a fashion designer? You know, there's a lot of things that I'd like to see him in. But I like actually quite a bit when actors get to play different types of characters. I also you get to see their range of acting. I enjoy that. So I like to see some different character types. Yeah, First does have chemistry with everyone. That's the thing. Some people have chemistry with anything. I think I made a meme a long time ago about that. Nice chemistry with everyone. Because he had a lot of different ships. First and Mix. A little bit of it in Moonlight Chicken. I can see it. Yeah, I can see it for sure. Oh, you enjoy my reviews of old shows? You read them? All right, fine. I'll keep going. All you have to do is say one night's thing, and I'm okay, sure. It was on Our Boys Love. Your tie is crooked. Well, look it up. I don't remember hearing about it or seeing it. Maybe I did see it and I don't remember it, but I don't think I did a review of it. I'll look into it. Your tie is crooked. Oh, you're writing the new series for second-year medical students. So maybe they're a little bit older if they're medical students, right? I don't know how med schools work in other countries, but generally you have to go to school for a long time. The Forever You project for Earth and others. Okay. Well, hopefully it comes out soonish. We don't really have a lot that's airing in the near future that we know of. Lonely Blossom wrote, just watched the new series, AK this morning, called Dead Boy Detectives. Yes. I mean, it's not on MDL, so I didn't write a review of it, but yes. I enjoyed it. That was another series. If there were not queer characters, I would not have watched it because I don't like things that are bloody or gory. Yeah, it was definitely, I wouldn't say BL. I agree with you. It's not a BL series for sure, but there are queer characters and there is some romance vibes, romancing a little bit that happens in it. So I really hope they get a second season. Everyone should watch it because I think I saw that their numbers weren't great. And I'm worried they are not going to get a second season. I want them to get a second season. So yeah, I thought it was good. It was difficult due to the kind of, so I would call it a supernatural horror mystery series, probably. So I watched it really quietly. The sound was way down, and I definitely fast forwarded some parts that I knew were going to be a lot. So just know if you watch it, you can get through it, I think. I mean, but there are some parts that are they're pretty heavy in there. Yeah, maybe in season 2 we can get more, but I'm nervous about getting a season 2, hopefully. Western production takes 2 whole years. I think it depends. Although I guess Young Royals isn't, I guess, would you call that, maybe you call that West, right? Western Europe? I don't know. If you divide the world into sides. That didn't take 2 years for the second season of Young Royals, or Heartstopper either. But I don't really know. I'm trying to think if there's anything in the US. That was on Netflix. I'm not really sure how long it takes them. Probably that probably series I bet has to take longer because they have all those special effects, right? So series that are probably the fantasy, sci-fi type series, I bet those take way longer because they have to add in all that special effect stuff. So that probably, if it's a more slice of life type series, I'm betting they don't have to, they could turn it around faster for a second season. Dead Friend Forever was the same. Normally don't like horror or scary stuff, but it was well written. I don't like horror or scary stuff either. I did watch it. There were some parts I needed to fast forward on it. I thought it was good-ish, I guess. I don't know. I had some issues with the ending, how they handled that whole thing. I liked that they did something different, I will say. I do appreciate when production tries something a little bit outside of kind of the standard rom-com, even though I enjoy standard rom-coms too. But I'm reading it. Oh, someone's talking about XO Kitty. I did watch that, and I also struggled with a main character in that. Yeah, there were some possibilities happening with XO Kitty too. If there's male romance in something that has English subtitles, I will probably watch it. I mean, I've gone through like Love is Science, which it wasn't terrible. I mean, the rest of it was fine, but there's a couple in there that's one of my favorite of all times, Mark and Owen. So I think though they actually do have some official cuts of their scenes. There's one, I think, for episodes 1 through 9. And then I think the rest of them, they're kind of separate. But I will say, especially past episode 9, the official cuts didn't, there were some scenes where one of them was in the scene, and it's actually really useful to see that scene for context. So my advice is you could do the official cut of Mark and Owen for episodes. I think it's like 1 through 9 or 1 through 10, or I don't know, somewhere in there. There's one cut of their scenes. But then after that, I actually think you should you can watch it at a faster speed. But then when you find a scene with one of them in it, carefully watch that because it gives you context for their relationship. Mark and Owen. Oh no, the fan-made edit of them from YouTube has been taken away. That's sad. Listen, everybody, there might be a day where all my videos and my channel just vanish. And just know that I did not do that. I would give warning if I ever did that. But Yeah, there are some very strict copyright holders. I mean, I don't really understand it because in my mind, it's free publicity. Unless it's the entire series or whatever, obviously that's not okay. But if you're using snippets of something, I actually had a short that luckily it wasn't a copyright strike because those are really bad. But I had a short recently where I used 20 seconds of an episode that I think was probably 45 minutes long. And I used 40 or 20 seconds of this 45-minute, and they blocked the video. So no one could see it. So, I mean, I just deleted it because no one can see the video. And I could have tried to probably change the music, but then it's difficult to hear when people are talking sometimes. Anyway, I just deleted it and didn't even try again. And then I thought, well, you're not getting free publicity. So I don't know. I don't understand that part, but my channel also got demoted. Was that a month ago? So I got an email from YouTube. At first I thought it was a scam, actually, because I do get scam emails. But I looked it up and it was legit. And they said that I had to send them my driver's license or my passport in order to verify that I was a human who is not a child, which I have lives on my channel of me. So I don't know why they think I'm a child or not a human, but I didn't want to set, they probably have that information anyway, but I didn't want to give it to them. So for 2 weeks, I couldn't do some things. Most of them I didn't care about, like how many videos you upload in a day, but I couldn't pin comments. And that was really frustrating to not be able to pin comments because I always pin a comment with helpful information. And in my shorts, it's the title and the episode and where you can watch it because people always ask me that. And I mean, I know I like that information when I'm watching a video. So I couldn't do that for a couple weeks and it was not fun. So then I actually read more carefully and I could send them a video. I had to like use my phone, scan a QR code, and then record a 30-second video of my face. I had to tilt my head up and then look straight at the camera and then tilt my head down. And then the next day I was the channel was undemoted, I guess. But I don't know. So there's always something. There's always some strange thing going on. So yeah, if at one point everything goes away, I'm sorry. Just know that I did not do it and it's not my fault. I try my best to stay within the rules, but some copyright holders are really, really strict. Yeah, it was ridiculous. I mean, they have my video already. I've done lives. And then the funny thing too, well, maybe not funny, but they claim that they'll delete this video you send them until you build sufficient channel history, or after 2 years, they'll delete it. So, I mean, channel history, I've made like 200 videos since I think May of 2021. So we're at 3 years now. So have 125,000 subscribers, 200 videos. I don't even know how many views and comments, but a lot. And that's not apparently enough channel history. I don't understand it. It makes no sense. I'm not allowed to leave. I mean, I'll try not to, but it does get kind of frustrating. I will totally admit that it can be really frustrating. And as I mentioned before, it's a hobby. I don't make any money. It's a passion project to make the videos. So I basically do them because I know people, and I enjoy making the videos and showing some of my favorite series and movies, and people leave nice comments, which I appreciate. So I do read comments. I respond to many of them, but even if I don't respond, I've read them, so I appreciate them. Another question from Amisa was if I have a favorite OTP, which I did not know what that was. So I looked it up. It's one true pairing. But can someone clarify, does that mean is that a fictional one true pairing? Like, so a fictional couple? I'll wait to see. I have someone. Favorite ship. Okay, so, oh yes, thank you for the 125,000 subscribers. Yay! I know. Woohoo! Thank you. Favorite ship. What? Okay, I'm kind of confused by that too. The ship is the characters, right? Or is it the people? Is it the actual actors? Someone clarify for me. Wait, well, yes, to which one? Characters. Okay, that's what I thought it was, characters. Okay. So that's a really hard question to ask what my one out of everybody is. I mean, that's really difficult. But I did come up with an answer. This is impossible, but I have an answer for it. Oh, some people ship the real actors. Well, I'm not going for the real actors. So if this is what that means, I'm sorry. I don't ship actors with other actors in real life. So, because in my mind, I mean, that's like private, personal stuff. And their job is to entertain me with their acting. That's what I expect of them. That's what I want. So I want them in their personal lives to be happy. And whoever they're happy with, which is none of my business, is fine. So if that's their acting partner, if that's a woman, if that's a dude, if that's a non-binary person, whoever, I don't care. So that's kind of how I feel personally about that. I don't ship the actors together. I think also you're kind of in for a world of pain at some point because there is such a thing as fan service, right? So it's hard to know sometimes if is real, if it's fictional. And I think if you get really invested in it and that turns out later to not be real, you can be really sad about it. So I just kind of separate out. So for the one true pairing for characters, I came up with Tangy and Xiaofei because I love them. I love them so much. I will say that character couples that I really like, probably none of them would have the miscommunication, ghosting, time apart for that reason. So yeah, because I've talked about that. That's one of my pet peeves is ghosting someone for years and not giving them the real reason and causing a ton of pain and then saying, I did it so that you weren't in pain, or I did it because I couldn't text or find you on social media. Anyway, that drives me nuts. So none of my favorite couples would have that element. And there's quite a few couples that have that element in their relationship. So I probably wouldn't. I just like Tangy and Xiaofei quite a bit because they're opposites. And to my Star Season 2 shade, I will remain silent. Tangy and Xiaofei are great because they're opposites and they kind of complement each other. So I just like that they support each other and help each other out. And also, I would say Tangy specifically actually has character growth. And I like that he has character growth in order to become more compatible with Xiaofei. And it's not as if Xiaofei made him change. It's that Tangy wanted to change. It was an internal decision that he made. And I just think that's really cool. I like seeing character growth, and yeah, I think it was there. I mean, I know some people don't love, Xiaofei's kind of goofiness or whatever, but just everybody know that I think it's called Fifi. The character's one piece of hair that's always kind of curled out was on purpose. That is not an accidental. The production did that on purpose. I think to convey that he's, has a bit of more silliness element to him. Although he also does have some skills. I mean, so that was nice too. He wasn't just completely inept character, which I don't enjoy inept. I like competent characters actually as well. So that's B. So I would say probably that. All right. Well, what else do you all want to talk about? We can also talk about, so we talked about favorite currently airing series, but I know we have some newer people in here. series that ended in December that I really liked. If you want to talk about other things, we can talk about that too. Chenyi and ID. Yeah, that's up there too. What does that say about you? I like them a lot. I made a video of a longer video of the two of them, which I almost never do. Oh, and I forgot too. I really ended up liking Jeff and Alan from Pit Babe. So I wrote my very first fan fiction and published it on AO3. So, I'll link it actually in the description of the live so you can find it. I think I linked it in my last longer video in the description. But look at the link right now. I can't find, listen, I can't multitask, people. I'm nervous if I start trying to open different windows up that I'm going to lose the live. So I don't want to jinx anything. I will, if you go to my last longer video in the description, I think in one of the comments, maybe even in the pinned comments, I linked it. So yeah, listen, you need to read it. I'm not an amazing writer. Let's just put this out here. Keep your expectations low and be pleasantly surprised. I don't think I'm the worst writer on the planet, but yeah, I'm not winning any literary prizes for it. But it was the first time I felt so compelled to write more of their story because we didn't get a ton, especially in the beginning, and I just really resonated with the characters. So I wrote a whole fan fiction of them. And then I wrote it from Jeff's perspective, which I felt I could understand kind of more easily personally. And then I ended up rewriting the whole thing. I was just going to do a few scenes, and then things snowballed. And I ended up rewriting my entire fan fiction from Alan's perspective. So you can read both of them. They're very similar. They are just written from different perspectives. And then with Alan's, I just added a few additional scenes in there. So anyway, yeah, they're on AO3. I think I called it, what did I call it? Their love story. Was it like their love story, Jeff and Alan or something? Anyway, it's got some smut in it. If anyone enjoys reading that. I mean, you shouldn't be shocked that my fanfic has that in it based on the amount of innuendo that's in my videos. So, you know, bookmarking it for later. Good. Copied and pasted instead of all of it. Yeah, I did copy. I mean, it kind of depends. I can type fairly fast, so some of it I just kind of. What I actually did when I rewrote it is I had a document, and on the left, I made two columns, and on the left side I had Jeff's, the original one, and then on the right side was where I was working on the other one. So I kind of copied sections over and then rewrote them, and sometimes I just rewrote by looking at the left side. But yeah, I mean, it still took a decent. You wouldn't think it would take as much work because I already wrote it, but it still actually took a decent amount of time to rewrite it from another person's perspective because I don't know, it just did. But I honestly may never write another fan fiction again. It was a lot of work. And I think there has to be a level of obsession, and I don't know if I'll reach that level of obsession at any point again. So also there has to be not a lot of scenes with the characters. So there were several factors, and they all merged together into me writing a fan fiction with smut in it, but also consent. It basically has a lot of things that I like. So anyway, can rewrite as a writer. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad I wrote it, so I can say that I did write a fan fiction and people seem to enjoy it. I will say that was really nice too. People wrote nice comments on it, and you know, if it makes people happy, that's all I'm trying to do, people. Let's just spread some joy. Let's spread some joy in the world. So yeah, I wrote, I started writing stuff back in maybe middle or high school. It wasn't queer stuff. It was straight romances. And I finished some of them, and then a few years after, I went back and reread them, and they're so bad. They're so bad. They're the worst. Everything's bad. The characters are all super just one-dimensional, and because the writer said so stuff. And I also get really bored when I'm writing. I want to go like action, 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 action. I don't want to kind of fill in the description and the details. I just want fun things to be happening all the time, which is kind of tricky when you're writing stories. So yeah, I don't know. Those are there. I still have my notebooks. I have my notebooks. The funny thing is I had a pink pen, and the pink pen would come and write in the margins really snarky comments. So the pink pen would be like, this part's boring and stuff. Anyway, I don't know. I'm a goofball. What can I say? Let's see. What are some shows that were confusing for me? Do you mean confusing, like recently confusing? Or just overall at any point in BL history were confusing for me? Because I mean, I can answer both of these things. But let's start with recent things that were confusing. And I guess there's a lot of ways to interpret the word confusing. So Gray Shelter, I found a bit confusing because they had time jumps that weren't super clear, and they didn't clearly explain some things. You could kind of piece stuff together. And there were also two dads, so that got a little confusing, like plot-wise. Okay. So I was a little bit confused on Gray Shelter, but that's not the worst one. What are some, let me think about this. I was really confused. Time was confusing. So that aired, when did that air? This year, I think, and it's done airing. And as the title, you might guess, there's a time jump or, sci-fi element, right, of going back in time. And I was very confused throughout that series. There were characters that seemed to appear. I didn't know who they were. I mean, maybe they showed up in the first episode briefly, and then all of a sudden they're in episode 8 as if they're a main character, and I did not know what was happening. And there was a lot of nonsense stuff happening. Just people were not acting or talking like people would. And there were seemingly endless amounts of USB drives. I'm still not even sure what was on the USB drives because I will admit I kind of watched at a faster speed. So I was confused. I will say I was very confused. I was confused. Two worlds, right? There's an S in there, I think. Two worlds, yes. I understand overall the plot. What that series has is a lot of, I call it because the writer says so. So it has writing that the characters are only doing or saying things because the writer has told them to say or do those things. They're not things that real people would say or do. And unfortunately, if there's a lot of it, it pulls me out of the fantasy. Like I can't enjoy the fiction because I'm just thinking this would never happen. I love fantasy and sci-fi, so I can accept totally fantastical settings. I can accept werewolves and warlocks and vampires, but the world building needs to be consistent, and the characters still need to act realistically within the world. I'm not sure if I'm making sense with that. So Two Worlds has a lot of because the writer says so, and then it has choppy editing. So, I mean, it is tricky because there's two worlds, and they do flashbacks and flash presents, I guess, too. So you've got flashes to different worlds and different time. And I just feel that the editing has not been great for that series with the comprehension, at least for me. I think if it had been edited differently, and then there was a character that came and people are using swords. I don't know. I have gotten confused by it, I will say. I don't hate it though. It's definitely not one of my like least favorite series by any means, but I feel bad because I think the premise was actually really interesting, but kind of the execution of the premise has not been maybe what it could have been, unfortunately. Gray Shelter felt like an old indie movie. Yes, it did feel very indie. What would you even call that? Like experimental almost vibe, kind of aesthetic, artsy. Maybe artsy would be a good word for Gray Shelter too. And you're left not fully understanding what happened. Yes. I mean, I think it might have been in Gray Shelter. So some series, I think the writers think that their series is making sense. And then in other times, the writers purposely made it open to interpretation. And I think in Gray Shelter, the creator or creators, I think probably purposely made it kind of not super clear. I don't know for sure. Maybe they thought it was clear and it wasn't to us, but yes, I agree with Gray Shelter. It felt kind of like that indie type movie. Watch Gray Shelter in class. Your teacher was watching it with you. Well, I guess that's nice instead of yelling at you to put your phone away in class. Chas says also feel they were leaving it open to interpretation. Yes, that's what I felt. Where some other series, especially because in some other series at the very end, they, there'll be some plot twists or whatever that then things kind of make sense. The problem with this is that you can't write a series for 85% of it and be super confusing. And then in the very last little bit, hey, it makes sense now. I mean, because a ton of people are going to stop watching, right? I mean, if it's not making sense. Another one I would say that was confusing was Chains of Heart as well. And that had a lot of good premise to it. And it was grittier. There was more action in it. But there were some nonsensical character actions happening in there. And sometimes we'd be somewhere and I don't know how we got there or what was happening. So that was another one I got kind of confused by, I will say. So, it's unfortunate because I think some things are based on source material and then I don't know, just the adaptation, maybe they don't have enough budgets. They don't have enough screen time, run time to, I don't know, plot things out, or the editor gets in there and I mean, I don't really know. All I will say is I don't blame actors for series or movies that I don't enjoy. I pretty much never blame an actor. I blame everybody else, but not the actors. The actors are doing what they've been told to do by the writer, director, the editor does stuff. If there's not an intimacy coordinator, if there aren't workshops, I don't really blame actors for things. I blame other people for that stuff. So your teacher could see your screens. That's funny. Cori says, Chains of Heart, I kept waiting for it to make sense and never did. Yes. Well, and then that ending too. I mean, what was that? I'm not going to spoil it for people if you want to watch it, but they just, no. No. What else do you want me to rant about? I'm kidding. Yeah, there are series that I have found confusing. So, I'm trying to think. Cass says, I clearly was not understanding everything that was happening with Love for Love's Sake, but by the end of it, I understood it all. But now I feel I need to rewatch it. I actually did rewatch it. I'm not sure if it helped me that much. Maybe a little bit. That's another one where I think some things are maybe purposefully left kind of not clearly defined. I did like Love for Love's Sake quite a bit. So that's actually on one of my favorites for 2024 overall. I was wondering who was going to bring it up. So Playboy. Yes. All right. Once again, people, let me just reiterate that if you like it, great. I'm happy for you. It wasn't my cup of tea. I wrote that in my MyDramaList review, and a few people really didn't like my review. And it's just unfortunate that I read those comments when I had 4 hours of sleep because I was up the night before with a sick child. So that was kind of rough, actually. I won't lie about that. I briefly was like, I'm never writing another review on MDL again. And then I thought, I'm not giving in to like 2 or 3 people. So anyway, yeah, there was, I think too, if I had watched it all at one time, if I had binged that series, I think it would be different. But watching it week to week, and then a couple times I didn't watch it a few weeks to then I could kind of binge a few episodes together. And so then I go back to it and I was, yes, confused. And then I actually was going to rate it several points higher than what I ended up rating it. And then the last episode happened and there was, I don't even know if I can explain the sound that came out of my mouth, but it was some kind of scream, groan. And I mean, I just can't rate something above a certain amount if I make that noise when I'm watching the series. So yeah, that ending, I mean, and then they had the credits. They had something after the credits, which it maybe helped a little bit, but then I don't know. It wasn't for me. I appreciate that they tried something different. So I did have some things that I did like about it. I like that they tried something different. And it seemed to be really good for Gaga, Ooh La La. So, I mean, I'm happy for them. And yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. I mean, I'll just stop. Have a kid? Yes, I do. Why? Because I look so young? I have 2 kids, actually. And you probably will never see them on the live. I mean, I probably won't, show faces or anything like that, but I do. They're fun. Yes, I look young. Oh, thanks. It's a lot of makeup and nice lighting. Because I did not have children when I was young by any means. So absolutely I do. Thank you. Should I just do some like do some poses? Yes, I have a husband as well. Luckily, I'm not raising them by myself. Kudos to anyone that does. That's a lot. It's a lot. He also nicely edited my my fan fiction. It's true love, people, I tell you. Like, honey, I wrote a fan fiction. Can you please edit it over the next 4 months on a weekly basis? It also has smutty scenes in it. Can you please edit those as well? So anyway, yeah, it's love. Yes, it is. I'm really lucky, honestly. So, I mean, I can talk a little bit about it too. He edited my fan fiction for me. I know. But 3 years ago, I said, hey, I think I want to have a YouTube channel. It's like, okay, sounds good. Years go by. Hey, I'm not making any money on this YouTube channel. That's okay. Whatever. If you're happy, cool. is the partner you need to find, people. They do exist. They do exist. I found mine online. I mean, it probably would be an app now, but it was a while ago, so it was online, and yeah. We had a really high match score, I will say, and it's held true to today. So we basically never argue or fight about anything because we just, I don't know, we agree on a lot of stuff. And we also actually, our first date was almost like the beginning of a romance series because, so here's a tip for anybody that's dating or is going to date. The first date I like to do in the past, a coffee date, because if you do a meal, you know, you're kind of stuck there for at least, I don't know, an hour. And if things aren't going well, I mean, I guess you could kind of sneak out sometimes, but so coffee is nice because coffee's fast. And then if things aren't going well, you can be like, oh no, I've got someone's calling me or, you know, whatever. And you can sneak out. So it was a coffee date. And the first time I saw him, I swear to gosh, the heavens opened up and I heard angels singing. It was the closest thing to love at first sight that I think could exist, because I believe you could love someone from just looking at them. You have to get to know them. But there was a very strong attraction the first time I saw him. And then we had our coffee, well, I had chai actually, and then a coffee date, I was starting to get hungry. And I put my phone away. I think it's rude to have your phone out, right? So I put my phone away and I'm like, gosh, I'm kind of hungry. What time is it? And I looked and it was almost 5 hours later. we were on a 5-hour-long coffee date, which I think is how you know that it's going well. And honestly, I called my sibling and I said, I'm going to marry this person that day. And I did. I mean, not that day, but we did eventually get married. And yeah, it was, I don't know. Sometimes when you know, and I don't know, in that case, it's not like I needed years to figure it out. It was very, very evident from our first date that I was like, yeah, this is it. I found my person. And I'm very happy I did, I have to say. Oh, they don't know about your BL obsession. I mean, I talk about it quite a bit. Not as much around my kids. I mean, I think they know that I like romance series, but I know, isn't that a cute meet cute? You know, I don't know. It did really work out. And honestly, if after that date he would have asked me to marry him, I would have said yes. How insane is that? I would have had a long engagement though. I wouldn't have like gone to the courthouse the next day or whatever. I mean, probably have to schedule that anyway, but I would have had a, 2-year engagement. But yeah, I would have said, yeah, we just really gelled. You got your partner into BL. Cool. My husband and I haven't watched a lot together. I feel like we watched something. What did we watch? Oh, I think it was I became the main role in a BL because it wasn't a super long series and it's comedy. My husband and I have very different tastes when it comes to fiction that we enjoy watching. So there's not a lot of overlap generally, but I thought that one would work and it actually did. So I was right. Knows about your K-pop obsession. Well, there you go. You've got that out in the open. Oh, I forgot to say, 2 things that I forgot earlier on before this ends. One, travel plans. So I might be in England in the fall and I will be in Japan, not this summer, but the following summer. So if anyone has been to those places or has lived there, and if you have like tips and tricks or things you want to just DM me on any of my socials, that'd be lovely. And if you live there currently and you want to go get like lunch or something, then you can also DM me and maybe we can make it happen. So I do really like traveling. So I'll try to let people know when I'm going places. And the other thing I was going to say too is I forgot my last live. Does anyone have a birthday that's either happened recently or is coming up soon? Because I will sing you happy birthday. Anyone? No one has a birthday. I'll give you a second. There's a delay with the chat, so we'll see. Otherwise, maybe at some point in another live, it will be near a birthday, and then you'll get a birthday song for you. I'm not seeing anyone. No birthdays. You had your 40th in February. Does that count? I mean, it's a major birthday, and you help mod the chat, so I feel you get a special birthday shout out. Do you want me to say your username, Academic Purple, when I sing? I can just use your username for it. All right, I'm going to assume it's fine because you haven't said anything. I'll sing it. Sure. All right. All right. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Academic Purple. Happy birthday to you. There you go. I write, I sing, I edit videos, people, and I dance. I don't know. And I give good back massages too, actually. So, you know. Multi-talented. But I can't draw at all. You're very welcome. I have no design drawing skills as evidenced by my homemade, where is it? There. Oh, it's backwards. Okay, to me. My homemade plaque, since I'm not monetized, YouTube won't give me a plaque. So I made my own plaque for 100,000 subscribers. It's really nice chatting with me. Yes, it's great chatting with you all too. I always enjoy it. Did anyone have any final? We're almost at about an hour and a half, which is kind of how much time I usually have our chit chats. I was just going to say you can support me by leaving nice comments. I also make BL guides. So I'll put the information in the chat or the video description after this is done. But nice comments. I enjoy that. Makes me happy, keeps me going. I probably will continue to do one longer video a month. Just gotten kind of more busy with other things. But the next video is already in progress, and I'm fairly sure it's from a suggestion in a past live. So I cannot remember who suggested it, but whoever that person is should be happy. So that's coming out not tomorrow. It's the second Monday. So it'll be the Monday after tomorrow, the longer kind of compilation video. And I think it is going to be, it's probably going to be at least 6 minutes, I would say, this time. There were just a lot of examples. And I know that I'm not getting all the examples because this is a theme that has a ton of examples, which actually is kind of difficult because I have to go through and figure out which one of like 70 examples, because I can't have, well, I could have a video, but that would be way too long. A 5-minute video takes like 15 hours to make and edit and upload and all that jazz. So generally I keep it around 5-6 minutes when I do the kind of compilation videos, but hopefully you all enjoyed that one. Looking forward to it. And I wanted to say just how much I love your content. Oh, thank you. Super funny and on point to what you are thinking. I'm glad you enjoy the videos and that you enjoy my sense of humor. I try. My husband also goes through my videos too. I mean, because I ask him to. I'm like, can you watch this? But the thing is, we have different senses of humor. We have overlapping senses of humor. So there's things that both of us find funny, but then there's things that I find funny that he doesn't, and there's things that he finds funny that I don't. So, you know, it's sometimes he'll laugh at something I didn't even really think that my editing there was super funny, but I'm like, well, okay. That's cool. And sometimes I ask kind of thoughts or opinions. Have I gone too far? I've asked that a few times. Have I gone a little too far with this edit? Maybe. Oh, you want to hear I can say what my current favorite airing BLs are. All right, let me go back and look. So my favorite currently airing ones that are not completed, I really like Living with Him. It's a slice of life for those who aren't familiar with it. It feels really realistic to me. The characters and how they're acting feel like real people, how real people I think could possibly act in that situation. And the one guy's friend, I forgot what his name is. Is it Haruta? I think it starts with an H, but he's kind of a gremlin wingman, I think is how I would explain it. He's fun. So we love Living with Him as well. Yeah. And then this one just started today, which is Wandi Gadai. And I am 99% sure it's pronounced Gadai because I remember looking at that and thinking, gosh, that sounds familiar. And I was looking at Google Translate, and I think Gadai means okay, right? Sure, okay, it's fine type thing. So anyway, I liked the first episode. I mentioned that slapstick isn't my favorite type of comedy, so we'll kind of have to see how it goes, but I like that it's spicier. And I did laugh a few times. So that one's fun. Other ones, I'm looking through the list of things that are currently airing. There's a mini series called Blue Boys, and I really liked the first episode and a half of it, but then it kind of had because the writer said so type things in it, and I'm not really sure how. They only have one more episode, so I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure about that one. At 25, is it at 2500? I don't know how to say the at Akasaka from Japan you're enjoying. I'm enjoying it. I think my expectation was off. And I don't know if I watched the trailer or didn't watch the trailer for this one, but I thought it was going to be, what do I say, spicier than what it is. And it actually feels kind of more like a slice of life to me. So I'm kind of having a little bit of difficulty readjusting the expectations of it being kind of more of a slice of life, and it's not as edgy as I thought it was going to be. But I'm enjoying that one too, I would say. Memory in the Letter is a really smaller, I don't think a lot of people know as much about it. It's airing on WeTV, and I think that's interesting. It has an interesting premise. There's confusion in that one as well. I'm not sure if that was intentional or unintentional. I'm a little confused with that, but we'll see if I think they have episodes 5 and 6 yet to air. So yeah. And we have, what else do we have here? Boys Be Brave. I also need a couple things answered with that one. With both couples, actually. There's some character motivations that I'm just not quite understanding with it. But I'm liking it overall, I would say. So those are kind of probably some of my... You're also finding We Are and Only Boo as great comfort shows. Yeah, I mean, they're pretty, I would call, comfort shows are kind of familiar rom-com series, right? So I'm letting them kind of accumulate a bit and then going to binge, I think, for those. Mel says, liking the Akasaka, Living with Him, Stand-In, Wandi, Boys Be Brave, Blue Boys, and Only Boo is cute. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. We don't really have a ton that's airing right now, unfortunately. I mean, there's maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Is that 12? If you include the anime, the Tadaima, might be 12 series. And 2 of those are, mini series. So we don't have a lot airing right now, unfortunately. Boys Be Brave could go in many different directions. I agree. Yeah, it could. If you watched my lives, even probably in this live, I think I mentioned it, there's an aspect I really don't like, and the second couple seems to have it, so I'm not enthused, but maybe they will give us kind of more explanation about what happened and why it happened, and then maybe I could change my opinion on it. But have I dropped some BLs? I almost never drop anything, especially now, because I've been trying to do reviews and I want to, give as much complete, I guess, review as I can. So I try to watch the whole thing so I can give kind of my honest opinion of the entire thing versus if I drop it and I can only really review up to that point. So I don't generally, there are times I've wanted to drop things for sure, but that's when my extension that plays things at a faster speed comes in very handy. So I've watched things way on a faster speed before when I'm really struggling to get through it, and that does help. I think the most recent thing that I dropped was Lady Boyfriends, which is airing on, I think, WeTV, and only the first episode is free. I have no idea why the rest are all paid, but so I don't think many people are watching it to start with. I think a series like that could be really interesting, and we don't get to see a lot of characters, but you can read my review on MDL, but it is reinforcing negative stereotypes. It's playing things as comedy that I do not find funny at all. And it's just, there was one couple in it that I liked, and then something happened. I don't know if it was episode 6, and I thought, I'm done. I'm done with it. So I did drop it. I might wait. Sometimes I'll kind of drop or put things on hold and then wait till they finish and see what people have commented, if it gets better, and then try going and watching maybe the last episode of it. But I think that one has 16 episodes, and I think I don't know where we're at now. Is it at 8 or 9 or something? So it still has several to go about. Oh, City Boys Log. I forgot about that. You know what? I forgot to put that on my currently airing series list too. City Boys Log. It's Korean. It's really good. Yeah, for me, it's like good. I think maybe because it's the like vlog type style, so it's just fairly different, right, than everything else. But it's fun. Yeah. I don't know how many episodes this, they call them volumes instead of seasons. I don't know how many this one's supposed to have, but I don't think it's going to be super long. I can't remember the first 2 volumes. Did they have maybe 6 or 8, I want to say, episodes each one? So yeah, but I agree, not a lot of people are talking about it. And it is from South Korea. It's on YouTube as well, if anyone is interested or wondering where it's at. All right. Well, volume 1 and 2 have 11 episodes combined. Okay, so it's kind of like 5 and 6 or... Okay, cool. Yeah. All right. I think it's about an hour and a half since the start of it's an hour and 34 minutes according to this counter. So I think I'll end it here. I hope everyone enjoys watching some BLs. I hope we get some new releases that are really exciting for people, and hopefully we get more coming up, because we just honestly haven't, like I said, we don't really have a lot on the calendar right now. So I guess we'll see if we have kind of more of a drought this summer, or if we get a bunch this summer. So I'm not really sure. I think overall last year there might have been a fewer series overall. like just a few maybe. So I'm kind of curious to see if we've kind of stabilized at the kind of the number of BL series, or is it going to go down a little bit, or will it maybe go up a little bit? So, but I think where we're at, I looked recently where we're at from this year to last year, I think we are down a little bit with how many series we have. So it'll be interesting to see if where we go for the rest of the year. But hopefully if you can't find something new, there's something you really love that you can rewatch, and that's always good to watch some older ones that are favorites. So take care, everyone. I will put in chapters, and I will also edit the English subtitles when they're made available. Usually takes a couple days, and then the chat replay will also, I don't think it's available right away when this publishes. I think it takes like a day or something for YouTube to put them up. So thanks, everyone. Last year, May was a quieter month as well. Yeah, definitely seems pretty quiet. These are fun. Yeah, they are fun, aren't they? They're kind of a lot of work. I'm going to be honest with you. But they are fun. So, I mean, I'm not doing these every week or even every month, but, maybe a few more months, I'll do another one, and just watch my social media, and I'll post there for when the next one is. And yeah. All right, cool. Everyone, have a good night or good day or good afternoon, wherever you're at. And happy BL watching and reading. Bye, everyone. Have a great night. Yeah, a great day.